I'm Ryan Menefee, host of Moonlight Meditation on KRTU every Sunday night at 11 o'clock, and this is What's on My Turntable. Discogs. Discogs website is essentially like the only place to find hard to find records. Better than eBay, better than anything else. The problem with Discogs is you'll find sellers from all over the world who don't always want to sell to the United States. So that's what I find a lot of the issues with is a lot of these are on sale, but you can't buy them here. So, yeah. So, my favorite record label of all time so far is Astral Industries. This is the most recent release, AI number 30, which features Rod Modal, who is known as a dub techno artist, also goes by Deep Chord. And it also features the label founder, Ario Farahani, I believe that's how you say his name. But this album is ambience mixed with old Iranian records that Ario had been collecting for several years, and they kind of collaborated on this one. The best part about Astral Industries to me is the artwork, which is featured by Theo Ellsworth. And every single one has some uniqueness to it, especially this one, which is basically story-based music. Very cool stuff. So what we have here is on a strangely isolated place record label, which is based in California, I believe, run by Ryan Griffin. This is Vel and Benoit Piollard. This is their debut on a strangely isolated place, and it was just released about 3 weeks ago. The artwork is what captured me because it's done by Liz Harris, which is also known as Grouper. This music is pretty much straightforward drone ambient, with a little bit of dark ambience as well. Very melodic as well. Definitely worth checking out. Another fantastic album I've been listening to lately is by Warmth. Warmth is Augustin Mena, who owns the label Archives and the label Faint. This is, I can't remember which album it is, maybe the 7th album on a vinyl by Warmth, but this is called The Night. It's essentially an EP length, but the beauty about Warmth is it kind of all blends together as dark drone, dark ambient. This one, like all the rest, has the photography by Alexander Kopats, which is a professional photographer, usually does Alaska, Northern Europe pictures, and I just love it. I love the mountains, I love all that stuff. This is one of my favorite compilations, especially this last year. This is called Healing Together, a compilation for mental health recovery. This is featured on Past Inside the Present record label, and it was curated by Cynthia Bernard. It features all female artists that are ambient artists, actually. Some of them have done cinematic work as well, but the proceeds go essentially all to charity for mental health recovery. It's a very beautiful album, very simple and straightforward. Every track is about 3 to 4 minutes, nothing longer than that. But it's a great way to showcase new artists. Which leads me to Cynthia Bernard's recent album on Past Inside the Present, which is called Chamomile, under her alias Marine Eyes. This is a fantastic album that's, I think, sold out or almost sold out by now. Very simple 40-so minute album, but it's some of the most light, heavenly, airy, ambient music you could get. Not dark like the Warmth album that I just showed you. Very much a positive thing to listen to at night, in the morning, anytime really. And then this one I've been listening to recently as well. This is the recent release by the UK composer Loris S. Sarid. is called Seabed Sun Bath. This is released on Moonglyph Records. This is a fantastic album full of strange, interesting sounds. He combines field recordings and unique instrumentation, and he does it in a generative way, but it's not actually generative music. He actually composes this stuff to almost replicate the computer sound. And so a few releases that I've been enjoying lately that aren't exactly new. This one is in fact new to me because I was able to actually get a copy on Discogs. This is the Burger Inc. record called Las Vegas. This one was essentially one of the, I guess you would call it, the quintessential IDM records. Came out in a 1996-98 time period, but it actually features Wolfgang Voigt, who some of y'all might know, some of y'all might not, but he went on to become a very established artist known as Gas. And also it features the Bionaut, who also did the artwork. It's some of the weirdest, most straightforward techno, but it has a very ambient quality, very simple melodies. I love this, and it's very hard to find. One of my all-time favorite records is this one. This is by Segway, known as Jordan Sauer. He's a dub techno ambient artist from British Columbia, and this is on Silent Season, one of my all-time favorite record labels. Silent Season is known for ambience and dub techno and dark techno albums, and usually all British Columbia artwork, especially this one, which is definitely up there near Vancouver Island or so. It's a fantastic release. It was very hard to get. He's released, I believe, 3 or 4 albums on Silent Season. This one is Pacifica, definitely my favorite. Perhaps this is my all-time favorite vinyl ever. I was hunting this record for about 3 years on Discogs. This is by the Australian duo Albrecht Le Bruy. This is on Apollo Records, but they also have their own record called Analog Attic. This record, I believe, came out in 2018 or 2017, but it features excellent instrumentation, guitar, bass, piano, a little bit of horns, but it's a great combination of house, techno, ambience, and you name it. It's definitely worth checking out. One of the all-time best albums, Tidal River. This one is also definitely one of my favorites. It just came out, I think, last year. This is MLO. It's a reissue and essentially a new compilation. It's called UMWA, released on Music from Memory. These artists are from the 1990s and the early 90s. This album contains a lot of excellent ambient techno tracks. It's kind of hard to describe. It's just worth listening to. It'll take you back to the 1990s. It features some space-time continuum produced tracks. It's currently really hard to get, but I'm sure it's going to be reissued. It's part of the Virtual Ambient series on Music from Memory. Definitely worth checking out, MLO. So this album is by possibly my favorite artist ever, by Ludwig Symbrelius. He uses the alias Eternal, Pearl, Eluvia. I've done a tribute show, I think it was just last year, about 2 hours long, dedicated to only his music. This came out in 2021 and actually arrived on my birthday. So it means a lot to me. It's called Iridescence of Clouds, released on a Strangely Isolated Place record label. One of the greatest ambient drum and bass albums, which you would not really think that would be a possibility, but this is actually one of the finest combinations of genres. And one of the cool things about this is the artwork. For some reason, this artwork matches the music perfectly. Check this one out, Eluvia, Iridescence of Clouds. And then, since I do an ambient show, no ambient show would be complete without Stars of the Lid, who have become the quintessential ambient artists in the last probably 20 years. I have several of their albums, but I wanted to bring this one in because it was my first to buy from them. And it's also the one I can continuously play without any issue. There's no track I want to skip. There's no track that bothers me. This all flows together and can instantly relax anybody. This is called And the Refinement of the Decline. Stars of the Lid, I don't know if they still make a lot of music, but this one is essentially timeless. It's a masterpiece on Cranky Records. Please check it out.